Hello and welcome to Paralyzed, Phenomena Explored. My podcast examines the paranormal, extraterrestrial, and other mysteries. Thank you for joining me on my adventures. Hello everyone, my name is Tim, and we are spending the week investigating the legend of Murder Creek, right here in Akron Falls, New York. Our journey starts a little further upstream in Darien, New York, where we have set up camp on family property. There is an old abandoned cabin here that was built in the 1940s, and it is built right next to a tributary leading to Murder Creek. Let's get into the legend of Murder Creek and some other frightening stories from history that have been told through the years. In the early 1820s, a man named John Dolph built a cabin near Murder Creek. He intended to build a sawmill with his business partner also. One evening, when he was going over his plans with his wife, they heard a shriek coming from the woods outside. John opened the door to find a young Indian girl in distress, asking for his help. He took her in and locked the door. Soon after, a man was banging on his door demanding to let him in. John had his wife hide the girl under a trap door of his cabin and asked the man outside what business he had here. The man said his name was Sanders, and he was to take the girl to the authorities per her father's instructions. John let him in, but Sanders left in a rage after he could not find the girl. John and his wife went to where the girl was hidden, but they were being watched by Sanders. The girl said that her name was Aweha, and that her home was not far from the Tonawanda Falls. She told the Dolphs the story of how her father, chief of the Senecas, was murdered by Sanders. He wanted her as his wife, but she was to marry an Indian man named Toyoni. Since then, Sanders has been in pursuit of her to end her life before she can marry. After hearing the story of her father's murder, the Dolphs took in Aweha to protect her. The next day, John and his business partner found the remains of her father and buried them. Soon after, Toyoni received word of what had happened and came to be with Aweha. The couple went to give their respects at her father's grave, but they were attacked by Sanders, who was waiting for them. The men struggled and delivered each other mortal injuries. John had heard the commotion from his cabin and went down to find the distraught girl, and again he buried the dead. Aweha would visit the graves often, and one day she was found dead, of a broken heart and exposure, lying on the grave of Toyoni. The legend says that the voices of the lovers can be heard as they wander the trails of Murder Creek. They were given in death what they were denied in life, and eternity together. Another Murder Creek mystery is the story of Sarah Ann McMullen, otherwise known as Sadie. On Halloween night in 1890, she led two young girls, Nellie Connors and Della Brown, out onto Akron's Cement Works trestle, which at the time ran through the heart of Akron Falls Park. Sadie pushed the girls off the trestle, and they fell to the ground below. One of the girls died from the fall, and the other was seriously injured. Sadie was arrested and brought to trial, but was acquitted on grounds of insanity. She was institutionalized at the Buffalo State Hospital, which currently is part of the Richardson Olmsted campus in Buffalo, New York. After 3 years, Sadie was released from the hospital and disappeared, never to be heard from again. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our first week of Paralyzed Phenomenon Explored. Today, we're in Darien Center, New York, on the bank of Murder Creek. This site has a few legends involved, and today we're going to explore the area and also have a conscious contact event. See if we can contact some of the local spirits in the area. This is my wife and spiritual advisor, Lacey. She's going to help us today by setting the tone for our contact event, and we're going to do a little card reading. So if you're wondering why we're in ponchos, we're doing our best to keep the mosquitoes away, because we're deep in the woods here today, right by the creek. Let's get started. So, Lacey, what are we doing right now?
We are setting the intention for what we're about to experience, or what we would like to experience, that it's more than a selfish desire to amuse ourselves, and that it's actually to gain lessons learned that might benefit all beings in all places on the planet and beyond. And we want to set that intention so that the spirits, as we're sitting here on the banks of Murder Creek in the woods, in this very sacred feeling location, that the spirits are welcome to communicate with us. And we want them to know that we're open to receiving whatever messages they need to bring forward, and that our motives are pure. So as well as what we're putting out, we want to invite them in so that we can receive with the same pure intentions.
What do we have here?
This is mugwort. It's a locally growing plant that has psychedelic properties. It's nothing too serious, but it does help open up our minds to receiving, and it also helps. It's Native Americans have forever always used plant magic, burning plants to welcome in the energy of that plant. And if you think about plants around us, trees, and all that they experience as living entities, and here we are using a beautiful plant that has wonderful properties to kind of imbibe into the setting and make it a sacred space. So here we go, we're gonna burn it.
Ah, that's better. Okay. It does have an interesting smell. It really does. Okay, so what are we doing next with the cards?
Okay, so these are oracle cards, and it's actually a spirit deck that is Native American infused with a lot of tribal pieces, and I thought it was especially appropriate to use for today, given that some of the spirits from Murder Creek are Native American, some of the legends.
All right.
But regardless, anybody can use these and benefit from the messages. So today what we want to do is see what kind of message might come forward for us personally to receive, and also maybe it could be a message from the spirits to say, okay, this is what we're looking for and this is what we need you to be open to.
Excellent.
Okay, so we'll flip the card.
Trader. Exchange energy to create abundance. Interesting. Well, hopefully our energy today, we can manifest an abundance of spiritual contact.
So I'd like to just sit for a second and kind of let that message sink in and see how it might be appropriate to the situation.
What do you think you're feeling from this?
Well, I see in the card, he has his hand over his heart. So it's almost like the same thing that I kind of mentioned, that pure energy. So we can't get the abundance of whatever it is that we're looking for from a place of evil intent or, you know, like selfishness. And I see also signs of comfort on the card, pillows, blankets, and tribal forms. And so I think we should be open to possibly seeing something come through for us, whether it's in the wilderness physically or if it's something that we see spiritually or that appears to us as far as signs and symbols go, because I think these are very strong symbols, and I think that might be a message for us. Also, the idea of comfort. As I said, we want to make this a comfortable place for the spirits to come. By place, I mean the place that we are creating, and we want them to feel welcomed instead of like we're afraid of you. So, you know, when you start being afraid of something, you immediately repel it, or you draw in more of the fearful thing. So we want to create a welcoming space with a good energy, and it says exchange energy to create abundance.
That's great. I'm really excited to, number one, create a welcoming space, a friendly environment for contact, and hopefully we can capture some sign or some presence here on camera, audio, a symbol in the woods here. I really don't know what's going to happen, but I'm excited to find out. Hello, everyone. As promised, we're here tonight to do a little conscious contact with the spirits of Murder Creek. We're going to start off by doing a little meditation. So just to set the focus of the night. And the focus of our meditation is to manifest awareness of the four elements: earth, air, water, and fire. Relax your body and mind. Slowly inhale a deep breath. Exhale and release all tension. Focus on your personal connection with nature, both physical and spiritual. Begin with the element of earth. Feel the solidity beneath you. Be aware of the structure of your body and everything surrounding you. Focus on the element of air. Breathe in and feel the flow of air inside you. Exhale your breath into the wind of nature. Focus on the element of water. Feel the liquidity of the blood moving through your body. Be aware of the water flowing through nature. Focus on the element of fire. Feel the light of the stars moving through you, and be aware of the heat of your body that is radiating into nature. Now, we're going to release our consciousness into nature. Imagine leaving your body behind and invite other spirits to your location. Allow them a peaceful place to manifest, and take a moment to offer gratitude to everyone and everything around you. Well, hopefully we have invited some good spirits tonight. Let's see if we can communicate with someone. If there is anyone with us tonight and you'd like to show us your presence, please do so now.
I mean, do you realize that the moment you said, "Are you ready?" and you like sat up on your knees to get all the stuff together, the owl started hooting?
No.
You said, "Are you ready?" and you got up and you're like gathering the stuff, and the owl started hooting, and you were like, what the fuck is that? And then once we came out, it hooted a few more times, and then it stopped.
I think maybe that owl could have been our
Connection.
connection.
I really believe that. I honestly do.
I hear something over there.
Maybe shine a light.
No. That was creepy. So, just as we were about to shut off cameras, I had shut mine off, we heard this crackling coming from the woods. So I immediately turned my camera back on. I don't know if I captured any of the sound, but it was definitely scary. And I didn't see anything on the video while I was recording, but I'm going to review it and see if I find anything. And also, just before we started recording, I said, "Are you ready? Let's go." And as soon as we did that, we heard a great owl in the woods.
Loud.
Very loud.
Very
large.
Grew up here, and I've never in my whole life heard an owl like that before.
Don't know exactly what kind of owl it was, but it was definitely
An owl.
the center of attention. It was really intensely loud.
It hooted like, it was like hoo, 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 like that, and it did it like 6 or 7 times.
Yeah. Hopefully I got some audio of that because I had just turned my camera on, but we'll see. But
I think if it is the spirit trying to communicate with us, maybe they're camera shy. Because every single time that we turned everything off, we heard something.
And right, I mean, and it doesn't have to be on camera either. We could be capturing any form of phenomena, and I'm excited.
We started getting into the tent, and we heard the crackle, and he turned it back on. And then we're like, okay, well, there's something out there. We heard it. And then we're like, we were recording for a little bit, and then we go back in, and it was a definite, it sounded like a stick being banged against something. Like,
oh, yes.
Like that.
That wasn't even a crackle. You're right. It was like...
it sounded like something being hit.
Something was being tapped on.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Tapped.
It was not...
That wasn't...
It was not something
and it was
walking on a
rhythmic,
stick. Yeah.
too. Yeah.
It was definitely not normal.
It was... yeah, I feel like that was a spirit trying to connect. And I just also want to bring up, I don't know if this is in the audio, but when we did the oracle card reading, it was a deck. And on the back of the deck, there was an owl. And remember how we said there might be some signs of some sort pertaining to the card? Yeah. Maybe it wasn't even on that side of the card, but maybe it was the other side of the card.
You never know. We're getting closer to the old cottage. We're going to head out that direction. Let's at least get up to the clearing before the cottage and see if we can see anything. This place is creepy, that is for sure.
Babe. It's definitely moving. Where? That. Alright, well, let's go back on the trail over here.
Yeah.
That way.
If you listen closely, we did manage to capture the owl on audio in this clip. I captured a strange heat anomaly coming off of this rose bush. If you translate the name Oweha, the Indian girl from the legend of Murder Creek, it means wild rose. I did hear the owl off in that distance, did you?
You heard it?
Yeah.
I didn't hear it.
We experienced some amazing anomalies this past week and felt a strong spiritual connection with our surroundings. I really enjoyed this investigation of the legend of Murder Creek. Thank you for watching this episode of Paralyzed, Phenomena Explored. Please follow me for more adventures, and if you would like to support my podcast, you can subscribe or donate at Patreon or Podbean. Be sure to check out my updates through my website or my social media links below. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.